Listen, learn, create your own destiny. Create the life you want. See the future, want the future, have it now. Welcome to the Manifest Change Podcast. And here's your host, Brooklyn Storme.
Hello and welcome to another episode. My name is Brooklyn and it's so great to have you here today. If you're listening to this podcast, there's a very good chance, I think, that you're maybe in business yourself or you're looking to start a business and maybe you're wanting to find the freedom and the flexibility to have the creative outlets as well as actually make a living from your passion. And so it can be really hard to do that if you don't have the business skills. You know, we're very good at identifying what our passion is, but not so great at the business side of things. And today, let's try and solve some of that for you so that you can absolutely start calling in money that you absolutely want and deserve. So today we're going to be talking about something that I love, and it is called attraction marketing. I don't know if you've heard of it before, but this just makes so much sense to me. I think the first thing that we want to do is just talk about what it is. So basically, attraction marketing is where we are attracting or calling in our ideal clients, the people that we really want to be working with. We're calling them in. We're not speaking to a cold audience. We're not selling to a cold audience. We're not trying to get a cold audience to enroll in anything or purchase anything from us. Basically, what we're trying to do is just attract people who are perhaps already interested. Maybe they already know us a little bit. Maybe they've heard of us. And what we're trying to do now is be the flame, and we're trying to attract people to our light, to our bright light. And so the first thing that we need to understand that a lot of people get tripped up by is that this is not about promoting your brand. This is about understanding that you are your brand. And so you are the driver of your business. You are the whole business. People are not buying your product. They're not buying your service. They're buying you because they believe or they perceive that you get transformations. And so they trust you. It's not so much the service that you're offering or the product that you're selling. So you are your brand. And I guess the first thing that you have to understand is you need to be comfortable with who you are. And you need to be able to show up in a way that feels really authentic for you and that feels really aligned for you. You know, my business really started to unfold and develop and really bloom and start to take off when I started to become more comfortable in being authentic. And that for me meant doing a lot of work around releasing or identifying first of all my beliefs and releasing some of the limiting ones and replacing them with ones that felt better and all of that kind of stuff. And of course I was just like you guys, I had imposter syndrome and I thought I wasn't good enough and nobody was going to listen, and I questioned the value that I was bringing. But by being open and by being transparent, what ended up happening was people were drawn to that, okay, because perhaps they could relate to some of my stories. I put up a post in our group, I think it was last week or the week before, around a really horrible experience I had with a coach that charged me $15,000 and I couldn't get out of the contract and I didn't get anything that I really paid for, and it was just horrible. But it was I had to think about whether or not I wanted to share that. And my intention was that I wanted people to see that you have to be very careful when you're choosing a coach, that you have to choose somebody that you know, that you like, that you trust. Don't make the same mistake that I did and just jump into something without really checking. So by being open and by releasing fear of me being judged and by releasing fear of what other people might think about me or say about me or things like that, I was able to just focus on that intention and put my thoughts down on paper, so to speak, and share them with our tribe. And the support was amazing and the feedback was really amazing. And what happened was I started to get contacted by people in our group who had had similar experiences. And so from there, we're able to engage in all sorts of dialogues. And it was really, really beautiful. And it's given me a chance to really connect more deeply with some of the tribe members. And that's what it's all about. It's about having the relationships. Which brings me to the next point. You really need to know your audience, and you have to be able to speak their language. You have to be able to know what they need. So there was a lady that I was helping recently. She has a Facebook page. It's got like 50,000 people on it or something. And she's very upset. She's worked with a number of coaches in the past. They've locked her into all sorts of contracts that she's having trouble repaying. Her thing is that she's been giving free content to her group now for 3 years. And she's been trying recently to sell to the people on the page or people in the group, and nobody's buying. In fact, people are leaving, and she doesn't understand why. And so we had a conversation, and I was suggesting to her, well, what do you want to do, and what's your intention now? And what we realised was that her intention has changed, and she's no longer interested in, why she started the page in the first place. So the page was for one thing, but now she's trying to sell something different, and she's getting very frustrated because nobody's buying this different thing. And so sometimes it just takes somebody from the outside to kind of talk you through that, and I was able to coach her through that, and we were able to help her see that she is needing to attract a different audience now. She's set up a group that was attracting one type of audience, and she's done that very, very well, and she's got 50,000 people on that page. But you can't sell handbags to mechanics. You can't sell, I don't know what else can I say, meat to vegetarians. It's just not going to work. You have to know your audience, and you have to know what that audience wants, and that's where she's getting stuck. And even when I was suggesting to her, well, update the description on your group and update this and update that, she was saying to me, yep, done that. That didn't work. And she was shooting me down all the time. And, I could see that she's exhausted. She's stuck in overwhelm. She can't see the forest for the trees. She's questioning her worth. She's wanting to give up. She's not sleeping because she's not turning over any income from her page or from her group. And, she either wants it solved right now or she's going to throw it all in. That's where she's at. But it was really good to be able to give her a container, to give her some space to be able to process all of these negative things that she was feeling, all these unwanted thoughts, all these unwanted beliefs, and just hold that space for her and be the sounding board for her and give her some guidance. What ended up happening was she got back to me the next day and she said, she had a lot of gratitude for our time, and she was just in a really bad space and stuck in this overwhelm. But she'd since, after our conversation, she'd gone away and she'd implemented some of these changes. And she added me to her group the next day, and I went into the group and I had a look, and I could see she was already getting really amazing impact and results already in less than 24 hours just by implementing maybe three or four changes that I'd suggested. And she was starting to feel more confident. She was starting to feel better already. I think what she realized was that just by understanding that there was nothing wrong with her message, there was nothing wrong with her offer. What was going on was she was just giving it to the wrong people. She was just giving it to the wrong audience. So it's imperative, if you want to make money in your business, to understand your audience. You have to know who they are, and you have to understand too why you want to help them, why you want to serve them. So know your audience, know who you want to serve and why, and you have to make an offer that they're going to really want to be drawn to. And the way that I do that is just by stepping into my power. I just like to really sit there before I go on Facebook, or sit there before I put a workshop together. Like at the moment, we've got the aligned business workshops coming together, and they're going Sydney in May 20, Brisbane June 24, Malaysia, Mumbai, and Los Angeles in August 13. But before I set up those workshops, I had to really think about who my audience is, what they really need from me right now, and how I could best serve them. And it was from that space, it was from that intention that I was able to put them together. And we've had like just a really beautiful response to these workshops. And it's been a beautiful learning process too. They're constantly evolving. And I'm so excited now about this beta program. And launching, we'll do a podcast down the track on launching if you like, but the whole process of launching has just been breezy, easy. I've loved every second of it. It hasn't been scary at all. There's been zero pressure. It's just been so pleasurable, because I know that I'm coming from a place of good intention, from beautiful intention. I would do this even if I weren't getting the money. And actually, I've given away free tickets to some people to come along to the workshops as well, to try and help them up-level their businesses. So these are the things. Know, first of all, that you are your brand. Know your audience. Know what they need and create the right offer. And if you're wanting help with any of this, you have some options available to you. So first of all, you can absolutely come and join the tribe. Now, this is also very exciting. I am relaunching the tribe today, actually. I've renamed it. So it was called the Business Unleashed Tribe. And that was not a name that I picked. It was a name that was suggested to me by somebody else. I was brainstorming names back in January, and I really wanted a name that was around this concept of what I do, which is teaching people about alignment and the role and the value of having alignment in your business. But anyway, the person that I was working with at the time, my coach, didn't like that and was suggesting all sorts of other names, and we ended up settling on Business Unleashed. But what's happened is, since that name was chosen, my group has tripled in size and it's evolved. And as part of the evolution of the group, I'm changing the name to match that evolution, to roll with it rather than push against it. And I'll also be updating the description. But the content is all the same, the story is still the same, the approach is still the same. I'm just wanting to really capture in the title and in the Facebook group cover now what we're all about. And so what I understand from my tribe is the big thing for them is needing their business to be prosperous. And prosperous can mean abundant in time, in money, in income, in flexibility, in capacity to be creative, whatever it is they're wanting more of in their business. So they're wanting that prosperity. And I'm wanting to teach them how they can tap into resources they already have within them. They already hold the answers, and I want to help them I want to give them the key so that they can unlock those doors and access all of that information that they've already got. They just don't know where the keys are. So for that reason, it's all about them. So I'm calling the group now Prosperous You. And I'm so excited about that. Plus, I've got all sorts of freebies and giveaways and things like that. So you're welcome to join Prosperous You, and you can access all of the free content in there. And there's lives almost every day. You can even promote your own business on Fridays in there. It's just a beautiful group, very supportive. There's great engagement. So come along, give and take. The other option you've got is you can absolutely hit subscribe to the newsletter. So the link is in the show notes. The email newsletter is really just a weekly roundup. It comes out once a week and it always includes a free resource that you can't get anywhere else, so not even in the group. So if you're not on Facebook, you might prefer to receive the email weekly roundup newsletter. And last of all, if you're really wanting more of an in-person type of support, well, you've got two options there. So one, of course, is to come along to one of the workshops. And if you want more information about that, you can send me an email. It's just hello@brooklynstorme.com. Or if you don't want to come to a workshop, if you want something more private, you're absolutely welcome to apply for one-on-one coaching. And applications for the coaching are going to open in June. And I only take 3 people on every quarter. So you're welcome to apply for that. You can do that through the website, which is just brooklynstorme.com. And I can help you there. So there's lots of ways that you can get the support that you need. And I understand we all have different beliefs that might hold us back. And there is a cycle of change. And I don't know where you're sitting on the cycle of change, but if you're anything like me, sometimes you sit on the fence and you know that you want things to be different and you know that you need to change, but you just get a little bit nervous about jumping over the other side of the fence. I know, like I used to be so nervous about that too, but I guess what I think now, what I see now is if I want to be safe, I know that that's my ego, and my ego is trying to protect me from doing something that's going to put me in harm's way or that might be dangerous or threatening or scary. And so my ego's job is to keep me nice and safe in my comfort zone. And I love it in my comfort zone. I'm sure everybody does, in my comfort zone. That version of me is in her pajamas and her Ugg boots, and she's drinking, a hot chocolate that she's made from scratch by an open fire, and she's just kicking back, relaxing. But she's not growing. Like her business is just staying there from month to month to month to month to month, and her problems aren't getting solved. They're the same. Everything's just kind of like Groundhog Day in the business. And I have moments where I absolutely yearn for Groundhog Day. But then I have moments where I think, God, something's got to change. I need something to change or to be different. And that's when I start thinking, well, what could I do? And I'm contemplating change. And then my ego wants to come in and assess risk. And it's thinking, oh, my God, what if I spend that money and I don't get it back? Or that used to be a concern. I'm more comfortable with spending money now because I know I do get it back. But the thing for me now is, can I afford to take time out of my business? And I think that's probably something that a lot of people struggle with as well, especially if you're just starting or you're in the hustle and grind mode and you feel like you can't even take a lunch break. I guess the idea of, not only spending money, but giving yourself a day to work on things out of your business, to work on the business, is both appealing and super duper scary, because you're thinking, well, if I'm not in it, I'm not making money. But what I want you to know is that you need to work on it to make the money. Yeah, it's 100%. I'm telling you the truth. You have to take time regularly, even if it's only a day a month, or that would add an absolute minimum. It would be a day a month, but you need to have time. You need to either block time weekly or monthly or daily, or find whatever's going to work well with you. But if you're only showing up and working in it instead of on it, you're going to stagnate and you're never going to get the change that you're wanting in the business. It is safe to take the day out. You can create a shift. I'm all about the transformation, and I'm not happy unless you're getting one. So I'm going to do my level best to make sure that you get a shift. And I think that it's only by taking that step that you'll see that it's safe. And one of the other ways that you can try and make it feel easier for yourself is to think beyond that and think to yourself, well, how would things be different for me in my business if I did take that step and do a workshop, or if I did take that step and work on my business and remove myself from the office, or remove myself from the home office or my study for a day and just went somewhere else altogether and worked on it? What would that feel like? How would that resonate with me on an internal level? Would that make me feel really comfortable? Would that make me feel productive? Would that make me feel like I had a better plan now? Would that help give me some parameters to return to the business and work within that could help me achieve my business goals more easily and with greater flow? Think about those sorts of things, because that's what's really important. And you're not going to grow, you're not going to get the change unless you take that step. Learning comes from stepping outside your comfort zone. Yeah. Anyway, just some things to think about. But to recap, what we've spoken about today is we've touched on attraction marketing and how you are your brand. Embrace your uniqueness, because you are your selling point. Know your audience, know what keeps them up at night, know what they want and need from you, know why you want to serve them, and create something that's going to be really, really appealing to them. And if you want help, just ask. I hope you have a beautiful, 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 beautiful day. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.
Thank you for listening. Take steps now to manifest the life you want by checking out the show notes. If you've loved this episode, leave a review on iTunes. Here's to manifesting change.